Hey, what's up, Brad Squad? This is Yonathan, Elias, and
Vanessa Contreras.
Yes, and we are together here in Lower East Side at Roni-Sue's Chocolate.
Well, Yo-Yo, did you know that in ancient times, love and chocolate have gone hand in hand for years? The Aztecs even considered chocolate to be an aphrodisiac, and the Mayans used it as a tradition where the bride and groom would even sip chocolate together.
Ah, okay, so that makes sense. It's no wonder that the sweet tradition of giving chocolate for Valentine's Day is so popular in modern times. Now, did you know that over $400 million is actually purchased of chocolate around the world for the holiday?
Well, I didn't know that, but you and I are lucky enough to be here today at Roni-Sue's Chocolate with the owner herself, Rhonda Kave, and we're gonna go make some chocolate, Yo-Yo.
So let's go make some chocolate.
For our make and take chocolate truffle classes, we have three basic sections. We always like to start out with a guided craft chocolate tasting. So we spend about 45 minutes geeking out about my favorite subject, chocolate, and folks get to taste through a lot of different craft chocolates from different cacao producing regions around the world. And we talk about the chocolate making process itself. So I always like to start out by asking if anyone in the group has ever been to a country of origin and had the opportunity to taste fresh cocoa from the tree. One hand up.
So I'm from the Dominican Republic. My father actually owns a cacao plantation.
Yes!
Oh, wow. Okay. It's like a meal. This one is good.
Yeah.
It was hard for me to even let it melt.
Yeah.
I was just like, yeah.
Two-thirds of the world's cocoa supply comes from West Africa. Let that sink in for a minute. Two-thirds
Wow.
of the entire cocoa supply in the world comes from
Wow.
West Africa, from the Ivory Coast area. So I'm going to throw out a question to the group. Who wants to hazard a guess as to the cocoa content of America's favorite chocolate bar, the Hershey bar?
Like 20%.
Yeah. So generous.
Really?
Oh, wow.
5%.
It's a little more than 5.
Wow.
7.
It's actually 10.
Wow.
Okay. Wow.
10 is the legal limit
What?
to call yourself
So they're doing it right.
What?
Once everyone has had their fill of chocolate, we begin the actual hands-on part of the class. The first thing we do is teach you to make chocolate ganache, which is sometimes intimidating for folks, but it's really pretty simple once you know the basics of the technique. And then that becomes the homework for folks to take home. And finally, we have people hand roll and finish a dozen truffles to take home and enjoy as well. These are malleable, so you just kind of press on it a little bit with your thumb, and you're just going to kind of make it form into more of a round shape.
Alrighty, Brad Squad, we're here with Rhonda Kave, who just gave us a phenomenal chocolate lesson. Thank you for that, or better known as Roni-Sue. How long have you been making chocolate, and how did you become a chocolatier?
Well, I've been making chocolate actually for over 30 years. I actually got started back in Long Island when my neighbor and I both had young kids and we were crazy to get out of the house, so we took a couple of adult ed classes. One of the classes was candy making, and the woman taught us to make butter crunch toffee. It was super delicious. We thought, you know, maybe we should just make this butter crunch toffee and give it out to friends and family for the holidays. Well, come on, what a hit that was. People started calling us the next year in September. You guys are doing the candy again, right? And we're like, I guess we are. So, yeah, that just began like a 20-year tradition. And so we started expanding our repertoire.
So how long have you had the shop?
Right before I opened Roni-Sue's, I was working for the Coalition Against Domestic Violence, coordinating a housing program. And I had gone back to NYU as a returning learner, and I thought, this seems like the next chapter, you know, and it was always in the back of my mind to do the chocolates, you know, for real. And I thought, well, you know, if not now, then when?
Can you please share with the Brad Squad just some history on chocolate?
Sure. We have archaeological evidence of human consumption of cacao over 5,000 years. Wow. So most of that time it was consumed as a beverage. Always been a savory beverage, in fact. In Mesoamerica, this is how it was consumed. It wasn't really until Cortez rolled up to the Americas and discovered cocoa, right? Brought it back to Europe, you know, that it began to have a more sweet element to it. Even then, though, it was still consumed as a beverage until like the late 1700s, early 1800s. A fellow in Belgium discovered the process to make chocolate solid, so you could, you know, prepare it and wrap it and store it and sell it.
So is that where Belgium chocolate comes from?
It really is, because Belgium is a colonizer country, right? And so they had ready access to the cacao, right, from the countries they were occupying. And because they discovered the process to make the chocolate solid, it kind of really gave them a leg up. Also at that time, cocoa beans were money.
Oh, of course.
So if you were rich enough to be grinding up your money to have a restorative beverage, you know, this was not the everyday guy was drinking this. Actually, the current Mayans who are living in Belize, right, and growing cacao, they will often consume, it's really like cocoa tea, if you will. You know, so they'll take the beans and they'll roast them on the camal, break it up, and just take those nibs that they've made, right, and steep it with hot water. Typically now they do add a little honey to it, so it is a little sweetened.
So, yeah,
and they'll put a little allspice usually, or sometimes other chilies, something like that.
Kind of good now.
It is good, yeah.
You know, we're told that chocolate has special powers. So, you know.
Indeed it does.
Yes, you know, so is it really an aphrodisiac?
Yeah, cocoa is a pretty famous aphrodisiac. It releases endorphins when you eat it. It has effect of dilating the blood vessels and increasing blood flow. It's supposed to be good for your heart, all that kind of stuff.
Just because we're here at your shop and in honor of Valentine's Day, what kind of chocolate do you use in your creation?
So we actually make for Valentine's Day our aphrodisiac collection. Yeah. So it's a whole line of truffles that feature different aphrodisiac ingredients. Yes.
Can you just share how Belize plays a big part in the chocolate that you use, or one of the ingredients, and just share some more information on that?
Sure, it really does. Belize was the first country where I had the opportunity to taste fresh cacao. And then we went to my friend's little chocolate factory, and they were making chocolate right there. And just as you walked in, the aroma just practically knocked me over. It was just intoxicating. We actually make house-made dark chocolate with the cacao beans from Belize, and that's the basis for our critically acclaimed hot chocolate at Roni-Sue's. Yeah, one of the top 10 in the U.S. by Zagat. Yeah. I like to layer a flavor profile, so I don't want to have just one note of a flavor. Right. So, you know, if I'm going to do like an orange flavored ganache, for example, I'm going to take some fresh oranges. I'm going to wash the wax off the outside, and then I'm going to zest them. I'm going to, you know, strip some fruit off and soak it in the cream. So that has an element, and then I'm going to use some fresh zest. Maybe I'm going to use a little orange bitters like you would use in a cocktail. Maybe, you know.
But I do want to know, like, what are some of your favorite and most popular chocolates?
Yes.
So Butter Crunch Toffee is our signature candy. We kind of caught the very beginning of that bacon wave. The bacon is fried so crisp that it loses about, you know, 3/5 of its weight in volume. So it's just like crispy like a cracker. And then you dip it in chocolate.
Since we are an immigration show and we talk all the time about how people all over the globe are more connected, and we do realize day in and out, with all of your travels and advocacy work, can you speak to this?
Well, I think people are people, and I think the more you actually get out of your own comfort zone and meet people in different places, you find that's to be true. You know, I think one of the big problems we have in the world is that people are insular, you know, they are in their own little communities with people that look just like them, and they don't have an opportunity to learn about other cultures, and I think that creates a lot of problems. You know, I think that that's one of the reasons I love living in New York City. You know, it's one of the most diverse places in the world, and you just walk down the street and, you know, in 2 blocks you can hear 30 languages, you know, and it's just great.
All right, to wrap things up, Roni-Sue, you know, we know where to find you, but we want everybody out there to know where to find you.
So we have a website, www.Roni-Sue, RONI-SUE.com.
Excellent. Ronnie, thank you so much for your time. Yo-Yo and I had a blast at the chocolate class, and tons of flavors were experienced today.
I feel like I'm kind of a connoisseur now.
We're definitely feeling a little more confident about our chocolate selections now, Ronnie. Thank you so much.
Excellent.
Thanks for watching. For more Brad Show Live, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.